What's up, guys? It's ThatChildGamer. Welcome back to another Doki Doki Literature Club video. I haven't recorded DDLC in 3 weeks. As I state recording this, I have no idea when I'm posting this video too, because of college, my schedule's all fucked up right now. But I am recording this as the last video for DDLC is 3 weeks old. I mean, yeah, there was Noah's, mod in between for live streams and stuff, the Fallen Angel, but for Lost Ascension, it's been actually 3 weeks since we've last recorded the game, so I guess there's nothing further to do but then the load to game. And I found out that it is kind of a little bug last episode that when you load the game this way, the text box defaults to being green because that's how it starts with Monica. And until the game code changes the text box to the next character, it's green throughout the entire thing, which is actually really interesting, but nonetheless, it's not supposed to be. But this is the only way because I don't stop the videos after each ending chapter. So if I hit the continue button, we're gonna be completely in a different spot than we left off last time. So this is kind of me. I have to force myself to do this because other than that, it's gonna be really weird and unordered. And it's really awkward. See, how it's pink now? It's not supposed to be pink. But anyway, let's continue. Last episode, by the way, I'm going to turn this down my earbuds because it's very fucking loud. Last episode, basically what ended up happening was they were all told the truth. And they were all told that this is practically just the game person behind the game, aka me, fucking with them or something along those sorts. Now, that's not what my idea of, the game is, but that's how they're seeing it, and they were kind of threatening, to say the least. Because they were talking about all sorts of different things they want to do. My alarm, let's continue before it got really kinky. My alarm went off, causing me to shoot up. I practically slammed my alarm into my nightstand as I hugged my legs. By the way, this is Sayori speaking, if you couldn't tell by Mr. Cow and Mr. and Mrs. Chicken. I have no idea. Where was I? Who am I? What am I? Oh, right, I'm in my room, and at one point was sleeping peacefully. I pulled over Mr. Cow and hugged him tightly as I yawned, the reality of yesterday beginning to set in. All my confused thoughts from then were as I expected, completely sorted out. Today is going to be even better than yesterday, I can feel it. I knew it would be, especially with how wonderful everyone was. I set Mr. Cow back into his respective spot before getting out of bed and heading over to my dresser. I pulled out a new set of school clothes and smiled at them. I rubbed them on my face, feeling the soft fabric brush up on my skin. They were surprisingly soft, a perfect way to wake up. I'm taking my glasses off because there's smudges all over them and I cannot stand it. I got changed prior to heading downstairs. Now I can't see jack shit right now. I can't see 3 feet in front of me. Smiling at the early morning sun as it graced me with its warmth. I walked into the kitchen and clapped my hands together as the perfect meal came to mind once again. Eggs and toast. Of course, it's always eggs and toast with you, Sayori, and it's blue. It's blue again. Now it's back to pink. I love it. I said it out loud to nobody in particular. That was the best breakfast in the whole wide world, and nobody can convince me otherwise. I went to the fridge and pulled out the eggs, humming to myself as I went around and got my breakfast set up. I stayed 100% focused on my meal, knowing I could perfect it. Okay, I mostly focused on my meal. I kind of burnt my eggs a little bit. Classic Sayori. But they still tasted really good. I finished up my meal and put the dishes into the sink, making a mental note to handle this later. I sighed happily as I went over to the front door and grabbed my bag, strapping it over my shoulders. I glanced back for a moment, eyeing over the kitchen. I wasn't going to let my house burn down. Like you did last time? Satisfied with the way it looked, I went outside with a skip to my step. That's just a reference to the original game, how MC brings up Sayori burning down her house when she was trying to cook. Or cleaning her room. I can't remember which one it was, but whatever. I looked back at my home and tilted my head slightly, wondering how long it took to make it exist. Now, the funny thing about what I just said, all of what I just said, not the phrase, but what I was just talking about, was that I haven't played the original game. My nose is itching already. It's the DDLC nose itch curse. But I haven't played the original game in, actually forever. So, and the fact that I've been doing these mods, slower and slower at a time, Like, I used to be posting a mod video one after the other and stuff. Now it's, like, down to me waiting 3 weeks for the next Lost Ascension video to come out. But, because it's taken so long and I haven't played it in a while, I physically have... I don't remember as much as I really should be. I looked back, I already read this. It's still my home, isn't it? Even if it isn't entirely real or anything. I turned to look in the fresh morning weather as it began to slowly walk... Okay, that just... I don't have it on auto, which is really stupid. I turned to look at the fresh morning weather as I began to slowly walk down my step. Oh, Monica said to walk with him to school today. I wonder if he really looks the way Monica described him. I turned and hid into in the bushes for a moment, making my hair a bit more messy as I waited for him to finally appear. Yeah, oh? This is a different text. It's brown. It's like a brown color now. It's a little bit darker on the OBS, but like in here, it's kind of like a brown color. The game. It's changed. I could tell from just a scene outside of his house, something was poking out of a bush. There was a length of rope, assumedly from the ditzy Nazer. Nazer? Nailed it! Neighbor! What the fuck am I doing? I could be wrong. It could just be a symbol of surrender. But that doesn't really matter. The main thing was if Sayori was still there or acting the same. For a moment, I was expecting a drastic change in character, at least up until the same old text came up. Hey! I could see an annoying girl running towards me in the distance, waving her hands in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl's... Oh, so this is MC's point of view now. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. I sighed audibly as I leaned back in my chair. Is this me? Is this me talking? How are you in a chair, MC? That can't be you. This has to be me. I think they're giving me a script. I love that. Apparently, I have to lean back in my chair, so I'm doing exactly what it says. Oh, okay. I was starting to get genuinely disgusted by this point. Why can't they ever do anything uni or unny? I have no idea. Whoa! Sayori tripped, landing face first on the pavement. A quiet sob came up from her as she sat up. She was rubbing her cheeks, trying to nurture them. Meanie, why didn't you try to catch me? She was looking up at him, a sour... So this is actually me! They're scripting what I'm supposed to be saying! I love it! This has never happened before. I'm so intrigued by this. She was looking up at him, a sour look on her face as she stood up and brushed herself off. Let's just go, okay? She stuttered a little bit as she stormed off past him in the direction of school. To my amazement, the MC seemed entirely unfazed by this, acting like this was part of a normal game. I sat back and watched. For once, I was actually interested in whatever Monica had planned out. I wonder what she did this time. She's tried many things before, but this seems a bit extreme. Messing with Sayori? What else did she learn to do? Weird! I feel like now I'm binded to the game. It's freaking amazing. I love that the I can't even remember who made this. But, whoever it is, you're fucking phenomenal. That's like the most creative thing I've ever seen in a DDLC mod. Oh, jeez. To be part of the script. I love it. Oh. I had to click. I keep getting, like, jumped by the flashes on the screen. I don't know why. He's sleeping. He's a fucking lazy ass. I watched him from the safety of the window in the door. I'm very energetic today. I apologize. I actually hurt a little bit in my right side. I don't know why, but I'm very energetic today for some reason. I have more energy that I have not burned off yet, so I'm really trying to make the most of it. I watched him from the safety of the window in the door. He was staring off into space, seemingly lost in his thoughts. Maybe it's just the character that hasn't been programmed to say anything or think anything yet. I sighed as I opened the door. Okay. Hearing him mutter about the anime club. No wonder I've always thought of him as a NEET. I approached him and cleared my throat to get his attention. Devin! He suddenly looked at me. It's really weird seeing MC. It's not very often that I see MC in a mod, like in physically, like on the other side of the screen, like being in somebody else's point of view. Like, yeah, it happened with Yuri, but like, still, it's been a while since I played New Eyes, and I don't think I've played another mod since then that had that. He suddenly looked at me way faster than I would ever expected. His eyes were fixated on me with a strange condescending glare. I swallowed my nervousness, trying to ignore the overall feeling of dread as I looked at him. I thought I would catch you coming out of class, but I just saw you sitting in here. I laughed nervously, trying to stay true to the script thing that I could feel writing itself in my head. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. I shook my head. Well, I thought that you could use some encouragement, so I thought maybe I could take you to my club today. I put on my best smile, hoping to be in character. Sayori, I know the response to this, don't I? There's no way I'm going to your club. I pouted immediately, even though I knew what was coming. It was honestly annoying how he was acting. Meanie! He seemed to contemplate for a moment. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. I internally screamed. Please, come on! I kinda told the others you were coming. Plus, Natsuki made cupcakes. If she forgot to make cupcakes, I don't know what I'll do. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't be serious about this anymore. This is like actually just like all over the place. In a good way though. It's like, it's not bad. I love it. I love the fact that it's all over the place. It's just really funny that way. He sighed audibly. Man, it always annoys me when he does that. My nose won't stop itching. Matt, this is your fault. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? I forced my bright smile as I clapped my hands together. Yes, let's go, right now! I turned around and rushed out the room, his presence following me close behind. A shudder went down my spine from his eyes staring me down hard. Ooh, I couldn't even see him, I could just feel it. And it was Natsuki now. Please just remember the plan, okay, girls? Monica said it sternly. I had never seen her look so nervous and serious at the same time before. Please, Monica, you know we can handle it, right? Yuri said it quietly as she shifted nervously in her seat, Monica letting out a sigh. Yuri was looking mildly uncomfortable having to wait for the scenario to play out. She kept shooting me glances. Yeah, Monica, you know we can handle whatever comes up. I doubt he's going to be any trouble. I smirked widely as Monica smiled. She seemed far less nervous now. All right, I'll take your word on it. I can trust you two. Monica went up to her podium and sat down at it, writing in her notebook. I reached down and pulled out the first volume of my favorite manga, Power Fate Girls. I opened it up and felt a smile crumb across my face as I looked at the first page. No matter what Yuri says, manga is literature. I pouted to myself as I thought about ways to convince her that it was literature. At least until I heard loud footsteps approaching the door. Sayori was being unnecessarily loud again. Oh, Sayori! Monica looked at the door and brushes off her... I just completely mumbled that entire sentence. Monica looked at the door and brushes herself off in preparation. Yuri and I glanced at one another for a moment. Okay, everyone, just remember what we practiced. Please. I'm begging you. I just peeked at. I'm sorry. At least I think I did. I could hear it a little bit in my headphones. I swallowed my nervousness and stood straight up, my arms going to my side. Is this natural enough? Too natural? It felt weird now that I was thinking about it. Bring it. I stared at the door with intent as Sayori busted in, practically screaming out the next line. Everyone, the new member is here! I love you all caps. Oh my god, that's perfect. That's like so Sayori. That's even more Sayori than the original Sayori. Loud, clumsy, obnoxious. Everyone, the new member is here! Monica smiled brightly while Yuri seemed taken aback by the sudden loud noise. I told you to... Was that his voice? It sounded like a screeching cat. I love it. Not call me a new member. He looked around the room before staring straight at Yuri, something perverted flashing across his face. Gee, I wonder, maybe it has something to do with her posture. I felt a pang of jealousy mixed in with the rage that was now apparent. He shouldn't be allowed to look at her like that. It's disgusting. Welcome to the literature club. It's, Yuri stuttered for a moment with her own words, trying to find a way to say her words without sounding broken. A pleasure to meet you. She found her words finally as she gained her confidence back, a look of relief coming over her as she continued to speak. So are they not binded to, like, game per se? Are they not binded to code anymore? Are they, like, actually acting as if they, like, aren't actually, like, binded? Like, because they have to think about what they have to say? Like, are they just trying to remember the scripts? She found her words finally getting okay, I already said that. Sayori speaks highly about you. I noticed Sayori cringe off to the side. She seemed to resist the urge to refute. Instead, she shook her head in disappointment, I'm sorry. Then the time came. He turned and looked at me straight in the eye. My tongue tied, he looked extremely vile. My stomach churned at the look he was giving me. You brought a boy? Way to kill the mood, Sayori. I pouted and looked away. I didn't want to look at his ugly mug anymore. Mug? What the fuck's a mug? I have no idea what a mug is. That like, oh, because mug shot. Mugs and, okay, that makes more sense. I've never ever used or talked to somebody who's used the term mug when talking normally and not about mug shots. I'm sorry, that's just me. Hey, it's really good to see you again, Claire. Monica's specialty, faked sweetness. I love that. My nose won't stop itching. When I looked over at the MC, all I could do was grimace at the stupidly dumb grin on his face. An irresistible feeling came over my body as I looked at him, my teeth gritting before I spoke loudly. What are you looking at, huh? You got something to say? He seemed shocked. Oh my god. Oh, that's pretty fucking cool. I love the fact that they have like a kind of I love that they make the opacity a little bit less. He seemed shocked as he apologized. Yuri sliding over near me with a comforting tone about her. You need to stay calm, okay? I felt my rage simmer down a little as I listened to Yuri. Sayori approached him and spoke in a hushed tone. You can ignore her when she gets moody like that. She's just a little quick to respond. She said it quietly while she looked at me, an apologetic smile on her face. I sighed a little as I relaxed the tension in my shoulders. Anyways, this is Natsuki. She's full of energy. And this is Yuri, the most intelligent member of the club. Yuri became flustered in response to this, looking away for a moment. I could swear I saw her smile flash for just a moment, her eyes remaining averted. She's surprisingly good at this. It's nice to meet you both. The character said it without much more care as he turned his attention back to Monica. The two exchanged strange looks with one another. Monica gave him a look of clear distaste, while he displayed a look of fear of some kind. What a bit... Oh, I was about to say what a bitch, huh? And it seems like you know Monica already, huh? Monica nodded, not even speaking a word in response as she looked at him with a simple smile. Unlike us, she was well versed in this whole MC thing. Anyways, let's go ahead and sit down. Natsuki made cupcakes. I can go get them. I let my reactions win me over this time as I yelled out, Nope, I made them. I'll go get them. Sayori laughed at my reaction, even though it was because of her always stealing food. She annoys me sometimes because of that. I'll go and get some tea ready as well, if you'll excuse me. Yuri said it quietly as she shuffled off to the side. I gave her a quick nod to reassure her before heading off to get my cupcakes. And it's Yuri's turn to have a thing. I think she already had her thing too. I think we've all been through, people's point of view at least once. I was standing over by my tea set, quietly contemplating the situation at hand as I brushed a lock of my hair out of my face. The water was boiling as I got the tea prepared. The only thing breaking my concentration was the sound of tin foil unwrapping. I hurried up a little bit so I could deliver my tea in a timely manner. Here you are. I spoke softly as I spread the cups around, making sure to correctly place the cups in the order I was told. I gave the boy a rather unique cup to distinguish him from the rest of the group. One for being rude, and two for an idea that Monica had. Monica came up with a special coded up thing that would reduce the power he had over us or something. I still think most of this is a bit crazy. Is Monica trying to get MC to be like her and self-aware, but lying to the girls that it's you're gonna have less control now? But I wonder if I don't know. It's all confusing right now. I hope all the answers are answered by the end. I sat down next to Natsuki and carefully lifted my cup, sipping from it gracefully as the others did the same. Eventually, after a long bout of silence, the MC spoke up about the way the cupcakes were designed. Natsuki did not like the comments he made at all. I laughed to myself at the interaction as I ready to take a... Don't let me finish it all. As I ready to take a bite out of the fluffy cupcake. So Yuri, they let you keep a whole tea set in this room? Right, I was the next to be spoken to. Yes. The teachers are okay with it. It doesn't take up that much space to them, really. He nodded. I felt my smile waver slightly. He looked off to me. Monica's words rang a bit in my head. I just want... Oh no, Yuri. No! Yuri, don't do... Does Yuri have the wrong tea? Maybe? I don't know. Is there different effects for everybody? Oh, that does not look good. So what made you consider joining the literature club, Devin? Monica piped up, interrupting the train of thoughts that had come roaring through my head. My mind calmed itself down, lowering its barren fangs as I took a bite out of the cupcake. It was absolutely delectable. It tasted creamy from the icing. So sweet and soft. The cupcake itself was so good. I couldn't believe I hadn't had one before. A thought crossed my mind in the statement. Statement? Moment. Why did I say statement? I had eaten many of these before. Eating this reminded me of it. Monika was right. Natsuki. I whispered softly and asked to not interrupt the current conversation between Monika and him. What? Is something wrong? She sounded a bit nervous talking with them so close to us. Her voice remained hushed. I just wanted to say thanks for making these. They're really good. She grasped a little before smiling. You're welcome, but you know, you don't have to thank me or anything. I nodded in response, intending on telling her that she was owed it, but I was quickly interrupted I can't read by Monika speaking up in our conversation. And we all want to improve the club, don't we? Natsuki and I both agreed vocally with Monika. We were going to improve the club. Just not in the way the MC was thinking right now. The rest of the meeting went on with some small talk. Nothing that I would really bother remembering at this point. I mainly avoided it, trying to keep myself out of harm's way, or any kind of issues that involved me. Up until I couldn't stay out of it any longer, that is. So Natsuki, I meant to return this to you yesterday, but you kind of ran off. She held up a small piece of paper, holding it out to the small girl. She has a name, but okay. Natsuki practically ripped the paper out of her hands. Monika, how dare you? She was exaggerating her reaction, but it was amusing nonetheless. Ah, gosh, everything about you is so adorable. Sayori came up and hugged Natsuki from behind, putting her head on top of hers. Natsuki's face turned bright red as she pouted. Natsuki was actually embarrassed. You write poetry, Natsuki. Natsuki nodded quietly, trying not to disturb the girl, I can't read, resting on top of her head. I think that's really impressive. Why don't you show them sometime? Natsuki opened her mouth to argue and shook her head. No, my patronity, my poetry isn't that good. You wouldn't like them. I nodded in agreement with her. I have to agree with Natsuki. It takes a lot more time and confidence from a writer to share something so deep and personal, especially when the writer is expressing themselves in particular. Then MC looked straight at me, a jolt of disgust coursed through my body as I stared back. You sound really experienced. Maybe you want to share instead. I went still from shock. I didn't want to share anything with him, especially. He didn't deserve anything that personal. Sayori seemed a bit melancholy. That word for a moment. I guess she still wanted to share, even if it was with him. Although maybe she was thinking about us sharing with one another. Okay, everyone, I have an idea. I just squeaked the fuck out of that. We all looked up at her. How about tonight we all make a poem and share it with one another tomorrow? That way we can connect a lot better as a club. Everyone nodded. Albeit I was the last one to agree. I was still pretty sour about having to work with him in any way whatsoever. Wait, I didn't agree to join this club. The group all stared at him in response. Sayori looked dejected, Monika looked downcast, and Natsuki looked flat out irritated. I shook my head and looked down at my lap. My mind wandered off as I thought about the clothing I would wear tonight. I don't have very many outfits right now, and Monika said she would teach us a little tonight. Okay, fine. I'll join the literature club. The others looked up and smiled, although the smiles looked incredibly forced. I joined them after a moment, trying not to freak out over this whole interaction. I would have been really mad if it only showed up for the cupcakes. Natsuki made the side comment as she turned away and walked off. I took a moment before joining her. It's Monika's turn. You want to walk home together? Sayori spoke softly as the MC agreed with a short nod. He didn't seem to mind her interaction very much as the two of them walked away. I looked over at Yuri and Natsuki, the two of them returning to the front of the room where I was. Thank God that's over. Yuri nodded in agreement with Natsuki. Are you sure Sayori will be okay with him? Natsuki seemed concerned. I could tell from the look on her face as she frowned. Yes, I am certain about that. Sayori might not always be able to understand things, but I think she's got this. I really do. I stood up and adjusted my collar as I looked over at the door, letting out a sigh. So, are we ready to go, Monika? Yuri spoke quietly as I picked up my notebook, and before I responded, I brushed off its cover to help calm me down. Yes, let's go straight to Sayori's house. We can go through the back door and make sure he doesn't see us. The two nodded as I led them out of the school building, making our way down the street. The three of us headed out of the building and walked down to the road. One of the few places the developer had decided to flesh out in its entirety was Sayori's neighborhood. Yuri decided to strike up a conversation as we continued to make our way down the street. Well, today's certainly been interesting. Wouldn't you agree, Natsuki? Natsuki looked at Yuri, peeling her eyes off the road ahead. You're telling me. How do you keep your cool with stuff like that? Listening to them, I decided to pull off something a little slick. I reached my hand out and placed in a quick line of code in secret. Oh, I like the fact that it's double. Yeah! Both girls to the right jumped a bit, tearing their eyes away from one another and searching around. What is that music? Yuri looked concerned as she searched around. Meanwhile, Natsuki looked absolutely enamored by the noise. I'm sorry. Monica, how'd you do that? I gave them a knowing smile. Well, it's simple. I waved my hand, pulling up the command prompt box for them to see. Ooh, it's green. I like that. Whoa, cool. Natsuki waves her hand through it almost childishly. So, what sort of stuff can you do with that thing anyways? I smirked, beginning to think of all the tricks I can use to my advantage. OS.delete. Well, what do you want to see? Yuri's eyes light up as she got an idea. Can you make it later outside, like nighttime? I nodded in response with the smirk still spread on my face. With a flick of my hand, the world around us stutters for a moment, the music grinding to a halt as the street and sky jitter. Okay, that's great. That's a nice command there. Then everything returns back to normal as the streetlights turn on and the sun was now gone. Ta-da! I gestured widely with my arms as both girls' eyes sparkled. I changed the name of day back to daytime. Nice. So it's true. We really are just story characters in a fake world. The mood quickly shifted to something I wasn't expecting. I try to maintain the now lost positivity inspired by Sayori's unending supply of kindness. Well, there's always a silver lining to everything, right? Natsuki and Yuri nod hesitantly, both seeming a bit unnerved at the relation. Well, we know the truth, and now we can do something about it. We can work together for a better tomorrow and a better life. The other two seemed to smile a bit more as I said this. Finally agreeing to my words, satisfied, I turned to start leading us down the street again. The song is so repetitive. Can we please change it? I stopped once again and looked back with a smirk. Well, why don't you change the music, Natsuki? Natsuki and Yuri both stopped, looking at me dumbfounded. Natsuki was shocked as she tried to formulate an answer. Wait, I can? Yuri looks down at her own words. Her what? Her hands. I keep saying the wrong word. And I can too? I placed the hands on each of their shoulders, both nodding as they looked at me curiously. You guys know what you are now, alright? And I know Sayori can do this kind of stuff from previous experiences, so I'm certain you guys can as well. Both girls timidly reach out their hands, as if they were being told to touch something sharp. They both get their own little command prompts. I just spit everywhere on my microphone, I'm sorry. But yeah, they get their own little their own little command prompts. I love that. The two command prompts appeared in front of them, the two as if it was magic. One was tinted deep purple for Yuri, and the other one was magenta for Natsuki. So, how does one make something appear? I smiled, going into vague lecture mode as I spoke. Well, you need to formulate what you want and then insert it into the command prompt. If you just put in the name of the object you want, it won't come out pretty, but it'll appear. Natsuki fiddles around with her hand on the command prompt until she finally figures out how to type out the word cupcake. Hey, I did it! Color values not found. Wait, hold on. Color values not found. What does that even mean? T-set loaded. Color values not. Is there supposed to be color values, or is that like supposed to be part of the game? A truly black T-set laying down beside Yuri, and her eyes brightening up in response. So have I. Yes. I clapped my hands together before giving each a hug, the two of them seeming happier by the second. See, you guys are naturals. That wasn't difficult at all. I let go of them and stepped back. Well, we'll get more into this once we reach Sayori's house, okay? For now, let's clean this up and keep going. Yuri nods, dispelling her panel immediately. Natsuki, however, looked at her command prompt for a bit longer, thinking about something. Give me a second. I gotta do one more little thing first. OS load play with me. Oh, it's the song. I love it. The song played from that name that I still have never learned to pronounce to play with me. How do you pronounce it anyway? Dai Jiao Bu? I have no idea. Natsuki placed one hand on her hips and picked up her gray cupcake with the other. Gray cupcake. That's why there's no color. Finally, some good freaking music. Of course, Natsuki. Knock, knock. I tapped on her back a few times. A back door a few times. I'm sorry. Before looking around the yard, I was... Oh, God. Sayori, she was... Stop skipping the fucking text! Sayori, she... My eyes were resting on a rope that was sitting in a bush nearby. It has to be the same... Every fucking time! I'm trying to read! It has to be the same one from Hey, guys! I snapped back to the door, which had swung open while I wasn't paying attention. Sayori was standing in the doorway. I smiled on her face. Sayori, hi. Thanks for letting us come over. Yuri responded back blissfully, and Natsuki smirked widely. Hey, nice place you got from the outside. Sayori pouted a little as she waved us in. I had been carefully typing in a line of code to delete the length of rope that was laying outside. I felt a bit of satisfaction as the code went through. She won't need that anymore. Not ever. The door closed behind us, and with that, it felt like an old nightmare had also been left behind. I felt good. It was late at night before we finally stopped our discussions about the rest of the week. I also had introduced some basic coding knowledge to all of them. All the girls picked up coding rather quickly, as expected, and as expected, Sayori had been the first to figure it out. She seemed like a natural at it. Hey, watch this! Cookie, of course, cookie. Sayori was laughing as she coded in a cookie. A big round cookie covered in chocolate chips. Yes! She picked it up and bit into it, chewing the baked good. Her look was that of a thief who had just stolen a priceless gem, or in her case, stole the tastiest cookie. She was still chewing as Natsuki replied with a smirk. Ha! You think that's cool? And she put in purple. She put in a purple cupcake. Natsuki seemed to code in something, and all that appeared was a pink cupcake with purple icing. See that? I got the colors down now. Yuri giggled a bit off to the side, trying not to be too loud. To no avail, of course, with Natsuki's super hearing. What? What are you laughing at? Yuri looked over at her and smiled. Nice color choices. You're very inspired. She giggled again as Natsuki realized what she had just done, her eyes widening as she started to stuff the entire cupcake into her mouth. I'll have you know. And jasmine tea. Yuri was trying not to laugh as she gracefully brought into reality a cup of her favorite jasmine tea, handing it over to Natsuki with a quiet smile. I'm impressed, genuinely. Is that Monica saying? Yep, it is. Okay, I just want to make sure, because for some reason I read a different name. I said it with the satisfaction as I wrote down a large success on my notebook for today. I looked up at the girls and they smiled back at me, all of them seeming to be pleased with the lesson we had. With all of us doing this, next Monday will be easy. We'll have to work on this every night, but I'm sure we can do this. I said it with confidence as the others agreed enthusiastically. But for now, sleep is more important than that. To which I got just as strong as an agreement, if not more, from the large yawn that Sayori let out into the world. Yeah. Sayori rubbed her eyes gently. I think I need to go to sleep. The rest of us all nodded as our yawns picked up. The nighttime air beginning to really settle in. Nightmare! Oh geez. I can sleep on the couch. Yuri said it quietly, to which Natsuki argued against loudly, as for some odd reason, Natsuki felt the need to take the couch. Not that it mattered too much, as we just made the couch bigger for them. Which left us, Sayori and I. And now it's Sayori's point of view. Come on, Monica! I grabbed Monica's hand and practically dragged her up the stairs, taking her to my room. Cool. I picked up my pajamas off the foot of my bed, turning to face the green-eyed girl. You can change in here. I'm sorry. You can change in here. I'm going to my bathroom. Monica nodded as I walked out, leaving her inside of my room alone. Or leaving her. Yeah, I think I said that right. I have no idea at this fucking time. I'm reading shit like I'm freaking trying to get through with all the fucking shit I gotta do for today. I trotted happily to the bathroom and closed the door behind me as I smiled to myself. I'm really terrible at reading. I apologize. I took a shower and threw on my pajamas, gazing at myself in the mirror. I placed a hand on my hair and let my fingers run through it. I did not want to fix it or anything. I just wanted to feel it. It feels so real. I don't get it. We're clearly in a game world. How else could I summon? How else can I summon stuff? How else could I do anything with command prompts? Okay, maybe Monica will know. Plus, she's probably waiting. I spoke aloud to myself as I left the bathroom and went towards my room. But before I answered, I knocked on the door. Monica? I got no response, only silence. Monica, I'm ready. Are you? Still nothing. Panic rises in my chest as flashes of memories taunt me. I couldn't see them clearly, but they were there. I'm coming in, okay? Why do I have the strangest feeling of deja vu? I gently opened the door. Mott? I stood in the doorway and looked down at my bed. I didn't know what to say or how to react. Monica was sitting in my bed, her sleepwear on, but she was just staring off at the floor. Monica? It was then that soft sobs came from the girl who hadn't yet noticed me enter the room. Oh, she's crying. She then looked at me and her eyes widened. I'm gonna like just leave this here. Okay, I guess that's a thing then. At least I have it there for a thumbnail. That's fine. She had then looked up at me. I don't think it worked because I'm full screen right now, and the fact that I'm full screen, the Windows screenshot doesn't like to work every now and then. I can't remember how to take screenshots through the modding program. She then looked up at me, and her eyes widened as she realized I had walked in on her. Her hand shot up to cover her mouth. I wasn't expecting you to be back here so soon. I'm sorry. She wiped her face off and stood up, looking around as she tried to play off what just happened. Where do I sleep? On the floor? I tossed my school clothes off to the side and walked over to her. I put a hand on her shoulder, her attention directed to me as I stared straight at her. Monica. I surprised myself. I'm going to put my mic down a little bit more. I surprised myself with how stern I was able to make my voice sound in that moment. I know I know you think you might be alone here, or that we cannot understand that, or we won't accept you for what happened. Without even giving a second thought, I wrapped my arms around Monica, hoping to comfort her. She didn't return the gesture. Her arms were hanging limply by her sides. But we want you to get better and be able to lead us out of this mess. We want to help. I almost said sleep. We care about you. Monica sucked in a sharp breath, her body tensing up. She craned her head back just enough to look into my eyes, her arm shaking. We want to see you happy. You deserve it so much, too, because we can forgive you no matter what happened, because you're here now, taking care of us. Monica tried to pull away, but I kept her close, her face turned away from mine. I forgive you, Monica. She stopped shaking in that moment. I'm being honest, as much as I can possibly be, Monica. Regardless of what happened, it doesn't matter anymore. She tightly wrapped her arms around me, her tears coming out of full force. I had never seen her like this before. Sobbing incoherently, she was telling me everything she was thinking about and more, all contained in one giant mess of words. I took the lead and got her to sit down next to me on my bed, and I just listened to her. That's what she needed at this point, and for someone to listen. And I wanted to be that someone for her in that moment. Monica was just interesting like that. She had a way of life I didn't fully grasp, but she always managed to make me feel safe and happy. I'm not sure how long she went on for, but eventually her words slowed down and she began to finally pull away from me. I pulled Mr. Cow up from the bottom of my bed and placed him between us. Monica gratefully hugged the stuffed animal and I laid her on her side, facing towards me. Sayori, I didn't try to sit up. Instead, she continued to lay down and buried her face into Mr. Cow. I'm thankful that you're here right now. I reached over and patted her head, something she used to do to tease me. She let out a sort of gruff noise to detest the action, but I knew she was smiling from behind that wall of plush cow. And thanks for letting everyone stay here. Last night for us was not that good. I smiled a bit at that, letting out a quiet laugh. It's like a big sleepover with all my friends, so I don't need a thank you. She looked up at me with a small spark of happiness, her breathing beginning to slow down a little as we relaxed. I smiled as wide as I could. If anything, I should be thanking you. You're saving us all, doing everything for us. Monica looks away from me, staring at the ceiling. She seemed to be taking in what I just said, a look of concern on her face above all else. We sit like that in solitude, keeping sleep slowly creeping up to the pair of us as I watched her think. After what felt like an eternity, Monica broke to silence. Sayori? Yes, Monica? Good night, and thanks again for everything. You're welcome. Sayori? Yeah? Mr. Cow, huh? Yeah, huh? That's so dumb. At least she's honest. Hey, I try my hardest. And anyway, he's my favorite. I guess so. And, one more thing. Yeah, Monica? I'm glad you're my friend. I'm glad I'm yours, too. Oh. Why did I know this was gonna happen? Why did it, just the way that, they were, she was crying and they were, hugging each other or whatever. How the fuck did I know that was gonna happen? How did I know that Monica was gonna ask Sayori out? Would you be okay with being something more? Like, best friend? Oh, maybe I was... Oh, no. No. Maybe I read a bit too much into that. I apologize. Best friends, maybe? Yeah. Best friends. The bestest of friends. Oh my god, I literally can't right now. I just assumed so much that I should not have. Good night, best friend. Yeah, good night, best friend. That word, best friend, those words, best friend, is going to haunt me. I do think that I should save it here, though. Oh my jeez. That was actually like the mod itself wasn't terrible. Like that was me assuming that shit was really terrible. Oh god, no, jeez. All right, well, I'm gonna leave that here. Woo! I'm enjoying this so far. This is the 3rd episode in, and this has already gotten crazy. Woo! Holy shit. All right, well, there's nothing really much more to say. Other than to end it here. I'm almost out of energy at this point. I was very energetic at the start, and now I need food. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. I'd love it as a channel. Guys, I've got a Discord. Come check me out outside of YouTube. We have a fun time for all. Hope you guys enjoy this video as much as I did make. You know what I'm saying? In my next one. Goodbye.
Listen.